Charlotte Danielson Framework for Teaching, Theory to Practice. This PowerPoint focuses on the integration of the Danielson framework into the observation process, with special emphasis on Domain 1. It can be used with interns and mentors together or in separate presentations. This document was developed and produced by the Maryland State Department of Education through federal funds. The Towson University Teaching Modules Development Team was led by Debbie Gartland, Project Director. Also on the team were Roberta Stroh-Snyder, Val Sharp, Michelle Pascoe, Lenore Chapman, Jessica Kirchen, Jessica Moore, Rebecca Malloy, and Darlene Fuster. Thank you to all the content experts and others who provided feedback on the teaching modules as they were under development, including Towson University faculty, staff, and teacher candidates, and school system and MSDE personnel. This PowerPoint is the fifth in a series of PowerPoints in the Danielson teaching module. The observation process. This slide shows the 5 components of the observation cycle, beginning with the pre-conference and ending with professional growth segment. Each component focuses on specific Danielson domains. Here's Activity 1. Let's divide into 5 groups for this activity, with a group assigned to each part of the cycle. In your groups, determine which components of the domains would support your part of the observation cycle. What would the observer or the person being observed need to think about in preparation? Here's Activity 2. Work with a partner to analyze a written lesson plan that each of you has prepared. Use the components and descriptors as a checklist for your analysis. Now, using the same written lesson plans, respond to the questions under each domain. Here are the questions for setting instructional outcomes and demonstrating knowledge of resources. Here are the questions for designing coherent instruction and for designing student assessments. This classroom observation form focuses on components in Domain 2. This classroom observation form focuses on components in Domain 3. The post-observation conference focuses on Domain 4. The determination of level of performance focuses on all 4 domains. The noted areas of strength and areas for continued growth also focuses on all 4 domains. Here's Activity 3. Using the following observation form, observe a peer teaching. As you observe, document specific strengths and needs under domains 1 through 3. This is the program observation form for Domain 1. This is the program observation form for Domain 2. This is the program observation form for Domain 3. This is the program observation form for Domain 4. This is the final page of the form. Each observation cycle results in a performance rating. The 4 Danielson levels of performance are defined in the next slides. Using the descriptors, rate the lesson that you observed, using evidence from the lesson to support your rating. Unsatisfactory. The teacher performing at the unsatisfactory level does not yet appear to understand the concepts underlying the component. Working on the fundamental practices associated with the elements will enable the teacher to grow and develop in this area. Note the key traits of unsatisfactory. Basic. The teacher performing at the basic level appears to understand the concepts underlying the component and attempts to implement its elements, but implementation is sporadic, intermittent, or otherwise not entirely successful. Additional reading, discussion, visiting classrooms of other teachers, and experience, particularly supported by a mentor, will enable the teacher to become proficient in this area. Note the key traits of basic. Proficient. The teacher performing at the proficient level clearly understands the concepts underlying the component and implements it well. Most experienced, capable teachers will regard themselves and be regarded by others as performing at this level. Teachers performing at the proficient level have mastered the work of teaching while working to improve their practice. Key traits for proficient are listed below. Distinguished. Teachers performing at the distinguished level are master teachers and make a contribution to the field, both in and outside their school. Their classrooms operate at a qualitatively different level from those of other teachers. Such classrooms consist of a community of learners, with students highly motivated and engaged and assuming considerable responsibility for their own learning. Note the key traits for distinguished. Now, let's consider more closely teachers who work with children with disabilities. Maryland special educators, too, are evaluated using the same Danielson domains. To support the professional practice of those working with students with disabilities, the Danielson Group has crafted a set of scenarios, extended examples of practice for each component across all 4 levels of performance. These scenarios are by no means meant to be exhaustive. It is important to note that these scenarios are not a rubric for special educators. However, the concepts and the framework for teaching are embedded in each scenario. A number of specialized key concepts are interwoven throughout the scenarios, including universal design for learning principles, data-driven instructional practices, and behavior management strategies. Using the scenarios, you can determine what additional steps may need to be considered in the lesson planning phase when teaching students with disabilities.